I love you, man. Bless you.
You get loved on for free, and you don't have to pay a single cent.
Everyone here is like a second father to me.
H-E-R-O. This is the place where the heroes go.
Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. I don't want to die and go to heaven. I want to live and die here and bring heaven.
I'm excited to tell you about another story in our special series. There is a group in Indiana. That group is Heroes Camp. They've been around for 35 years. I mean, imagine this. A man walks outside in his neighborhood and he tells the kids on the street, listen, if any of you can beat me in a one-on-one game of basketball, you can get a new pair of sneakers. I'll buy them for you, the exact pair you want. He had 60 kids respond to that appeal. And today, 35 years later, Heroes Camp has touched the lives of thousands of young people with the work of Pat and BJ Magley and their extended family. Their family of fathers, coaches who come in to help serve the community and to fill a void that could only be filled by a positive male role model. Let's take a little ride to introduce you to Heroes Camp.
Keep your arm pointed toward the rim.
Okay.
And you go
swish.
in. There you go.
Okay.
There you
so
go.
I'm gonna try.
There you go. There it is. Oh! Oh, yeah.
Yeah! Finally! I don't know that I can do that twice.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Come over here and get a seat real quick. Don't take another shot.
You pouring your life out? Are you pouring your life out? All right, you got life to pour out if you ain't in prayer, and you got to keep praying. Prisons are full of people that don't want to discipline themselves, and so then they do something. Now someone else got to discipline. Am I wrong? Pour your life out the way you play defense. Pour your life out the way you come early and think about it and get yourself ready to hoop.
When's your anniversary?
July the 12th. Before I said hello, I want to ask, you want to get married?
Before you said hello, you were going to
Before I already knew. I knew.
From the first...
I knew from the moment I saw her across campus, I was smoking a joint like, wow.
Could it have been the marijuana?
Not at all.
How do you know?
I'm too serious about what I let into my heart on something like that.
I was scared.
You were scared?
No.
What did you think when you heard him saying, I'm going to start this ministry and we're going to help these kids?
I've got a daughter. I was in labor for 32 hours. This is it. This is what we have. Let's work with it. Okay, let's just work with that.
So you were ready after one child to stop having kids because it was
Correct. Correct.
No, I was. She was wanting a lot of children. And then after we had one, that is a lot of children. That one.
But anyway, long story
No,
short.
that one right there.
What did you say to me before we started rolling the cameras when I said you only have one daughter?
Right.
With 100,000 sons.
100,000 children have come through this ministry.
What kind of impact is it making on these young men who walk through these doors who don't know what a father is like?
I pray it's making an impact for eternity. And I admire deeply the work that my parents have forged ahead. I was 7 when they started, and I loved it because it's a camp of heroes. To overcome the adversity that 90% of the kids that walk through the door have to overcome, they have a heart of a champion. And they are hometown heroes, but really they're heroes for everyone else in their community. When they go back out, when they leave Heroes Camp, we want them to be the people that everyone else is looking up to.
Not very many people know how to apply fathership. How do you guys do it here?
If you have not experienced the love of a father, that means you haven't experienced someone providing for you every single day of your life, taking responsibility for you, loving you unconditionally. And oftentimes that can lead to a misconstruction of who the Lord is, because he's a father. And so we're intentional about providing for their everyday need, giving them wonderful food, awesome clothing, haircuts, going to their games, going to their parent-teacher conferences. If a core advocacy appearance is needed, we do that kind of thing.
Do you speak to their character in this camp? What kinds of things would Heroes Camp do?
We oftentimes try to paint a real more clear picture of what happened and why that young person is in that position. A lot of times there's a lot of factors that are going on that the moment that person finds themselves in trouble, that's not the key moment. The key moment happened 13 years ago, 6 months ago, 8 months ago. They're displaced out of their home. They're in foster care. Maybe they're suffering from chronic hunger. This is every single day. You open up your refrigerator, you don't see any food. You don't have any food in your pantry. There's oftentimes very little faith in the home. Faith, really means hope. Hope that someone is going to come through for you, and that someone is God. They think that the Heavenly Father is like the earthly father. He shows up when he wants to. He's temperamental. He may neglect them. He may not want to claim them. He may not identify with them. He may abuse them. He may be a drug addict. God is none of those things. He's kind, he's loving, he's forgiving, he's merciful. Sometimes those two, earthly father and heavenly father, they don't connect.
Pictures don't match.
Exactly. And love needs expression, and it needs demonstration. And that's where the faith aspect comes in. It's a lot more than just reading a Bible, it's the Bible in action.
The base product of the ministry is that I love you and that I care. I'm trying to bring your consciousness up that you matter. And I speak 5 languages. All of them are English, but I speak to the judge. I speak to Popo. I speak to homie. I speak to Lomi, little homie. And I speak to the single mom.
The secret to this success that maybe separates us from another organization is relationship. If you come here in the 5th grade, we can't wait to see what you're gonna look like 30 years later. That oftentimes means we've performed your wedding, we've dedicated your firstborn, we've been the reference on your job, we've attended now your collegiate basketball games because you've come up through the ranks and you've been provided an opportunity. Maybe you did make some mistakes and your life did land in a ditch. We're still here waiting for you when you get out.
So you keep in touch with these kids from the time they walk in the doors till as long as they're willing to be in relationship with you?
And that's the key word, as long as they're willing to be in relationship. And a lot of times they go on and we don't hear from them for 10 years and they walk through the door, all of a sudden they say, you'll never guess where I've been and how you've impacted my life. When you find out that this cycle has been broken, when that fatherless cycle has been broken, they have their own kids with them, that's powerful.
Do you know what you want to be when you grow up?
I kind of want to be a lawyer, but at the same time, I want to be a person who has a lot of jobs, not just stick to one thing every day.
Is there a reason why you want to have a lot of jobs?
Because one, if you just do one job every single day, it would be pretty tedious.
Realtor, I think, like sell houses.
NBA player.
I want to see you touch the net, man. Let's see you touch the net. I'm gonna see you try to touch the net.
Tell me about Pat.
Pat, he's a kind, loving guy. He's always there for you whenever you need help. He always pulls people aside, asks what's happening, and he's just involved with your personal life.
Okay, I love you, man. Bless you.
I hear that sometimes they go to where you guys are.
Yeah, so they pick you up for tournaments maybe, they call you, they text you, they ask you how your grades are doing. I know Coach Sergio has done that personally to me, and they're just there. You get to learn about God, you get to play basketball, you get to be in the gym, and you get free food, and you get loved on for free, and you don't have to pay a single cent.
I feel like I became more better at doing things that I wasn't before since I had that little extra help from Pat giving us always motivation, confidence, and all of that.
I was doing bad stuff at school.
You were doing bad stuff at school. Can you tell me what kind of stuff?
I kept on fighting and getting in trouble.
You kept fighting. Why?
Because I really didn't know what happened. I didn't really know what consequences I was gonna get. And then when I started going to Heroes Camp, God helped me and told me not to stop fighting and stop getting in trouble.
Do you feel better now?
Yes.
About yourself?
Yeah.
Have you made friends here?
Yes.
What would you tell other kids about not getting in trouble, not fighting at school?
It's not worth it.
That's good. And do you think you'll stay here at Heroes Camp even after you get out of school?
Yes.
Why?
Because everyone here is like a second father to me.
I love you.
I love you too, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Did your dad pass away?
Mm-hmm.
How did he pass away?
Suicide.
How old were you when that happened?
7, I was turning 8.
What have you learned about dads here at Heroes Camp?
To appreciate them before it's too late.
Be grateful that you have one for now, because a lot of people don't.
How much they sacrifice for us. Like, there's so much things that we don't know that they do and have done for us. And like taking us to school, giving us food every day, shelter.
All of them are like a father to me.
We have a motto that if preach the gospel, if necessary, use words. Many kids come from here. Many times I'm coming to prayer at 3 in the morning and twice a week in this squad car over here.
And is this low income? It
didn't used to be, but it has become.
But you were saying the whole world is the
The
hood.
whole world is the hood.
Why do you really believe that?
Because everybody is looking for a different reality so they're not corny.
What were you saying about drugs in suburbia?
The good drugs are in suburbia. That's why everybody, you know, goes to suburbia to buy something to take back to the hood to sell, you know what I mean? And everybody got a gun and everybody wants to get high. Nobody and people want to get high because they don't see it, the culture.
What do you mean by that?
It's a cult.
What's a cult?
Getting high.
Doing drugs.
Doing drugs is a cult. The people in suburbia are more relaxed and more lenient with their culture because they can, you know, if you get caught tripping and you from the hood, well, then the first thing they're going to do anymore is they look and see what your parents are. If your parents are locked up, strike 1. If your parents been locked up or currently locked up, strike 2. Now you're getting ready to go to court.
But what about in suburbia?
They buy a paid-for attorney. So you go do something that you saw on YouTube or you saw in a movie, and then what happens is you act that out at school, and then someone tells somebody, and then you get arrested, then they come pick you up and push your button. Now they say you got a problem, and then what happens is you go to they call the doctor or the dope dealer.
You're talking about getting on prescription medication
And I'm
now.
talking about they'll take you to the dope house, Walgreens or CVS.
And so this is a
We
cycle.
need to slow down. People got real issue problems that drugs are only permitting to continue to exist. And then one day when their insurance can't pay for it no more. To get off heroin takes 13 days. To get off methadone takes 8 months. What are we praying about? What are we hoping for? What are we looking at, you know? Having eyes but they don't see, having ears but they don't hear. Hear what? The cries of the unrepresented people.
Tell me a story about a young man that you've helped from this particular...
I helped the whole family. I was their father. You know what I mean? There was 13 that moved up here from Memphis, Tennessee, and there was 13 living in one of these apartments, a 2-bedroom, you know? And they came to Heroes Camp. PJ had closed Heroes Camp. It was 22 below zero, 55 below wind chill, and kids trying to come to the camp in a white beater and a hoodie. We closed it so it wouldn't kill them.
And this is 13 kids
13,
in one 2-bedroom
13.
apartment?
Mother moved up here with 7, and they came with some cousins.
Oh my goodness.
You know, it was just ordinary madness.
Ordinary madness.
Ordinary madness in an extraordinary day.
You can relate to the people
That's
who you
right.
help.
That's right. I have to be not a psychotherapist, but a solical realist. I know he don't know how to answer me. I know he might be afraid or embarrassed to answer me. So what do I know how to hear what he's incapable, for one reason or another, unable to say? And that he realized I get it without him saying it. And it builds trust, and it's unseen. But it's not, it's unseen, but it don't have to be seen. It's got to be felt.
It's got to be known.
It's got to be known. Felt is known.
Yeah.
Felt is known. Last year, PJ, last summer, not this past summer, 2 summers ago, bought 120 Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. And we passed them out
You gave away
staff,
mattresses.
Yes, we gave away mattresses, and the staff, Jimmy and others, came back crying. They see single moms, pregnant, sleeping on the floor. 3, 4 kids sleeping in one bed. It seemed to me like nobody cares, you know? Everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. Can you die now? And I don't want to die and go to heaven. I want to live and die here and bring heaven.
My title is program director. I know that sometimes we throw around the word mentor, but a mentor does not really have them day to day. Does not talk to them about life's circumstances, about what's going on at home. Sometimes a mentor only deals with a particular trade or a particular practice, but when you're talking about fathering, we get into every detail of their life, finances, how are things with mom.
I've been going here 24 years.
24?
Yeah, Pat and his family and the staff and everything. Guys, you know what I'm saying? I grew up seeing some crazy stuff and everything. Like, you know, death in the hood, people getting locked up, losing family member, but they stayed constant, you know what I mean? Through the thick and thin, they always been there. When I lost my mother, they opened their hearts and their, you know what I'm saying, their family even wider for us.
How are you? You good? Okay, all right. I'm doing real good, man.
There are people who are volunteers, but there are also people who are staff.
Yes.
The coaches. Can you just describe briefly what the coach's role is?
The coach's role is actually that of a father, but we use coach because we're in a basketball environment, and so that's something that we feel they can better relate to. We've had guys who are a part of the camp who've experienced fatherlessness and who are now some of our volunteer fathers.
I do what was done for me. I'll be a mentor, I'm a big brother, I'm a jokester, I can be a coach, I serve, you know what I'm saying? Everything that I needed when I was growing up that they provided to me, that's what I give back to the kids that's in the gym today.
I would say if you come into this place and you're not getting fathered, it's because you don't want to be.
Our father gives of every part of himself.
Pat Magley has been a father to me and been there for me. And sometimes I didn't even know what to do, but I can always depend on Pat to answer the phone, give me the words of wisdom from God and lead me back to God.
When you and Pat and the team look at these young men, who or what do you see?
We see that they are individuals that qualify for everybody needs a father. They need a father as well, even though they come from different backgrounds, hard backgrounds, maybe have made some mistakes, 3 mistakes, 10 mistakes, but that doesn't disqualify them from still receiving the love of a father. And the fact that we're still here means that we're still qualifying them as being recipients of our Father's love. They're eligible. Part of the role of a father is to bring identity to a son. It's to see into them what their gifts are, what their talents are, what their abilities are.
The freedom to be themselves.
To be themselves.
This is what it's going to look like. Look at that. Oh, that's so nice.
This is going to be home to a brand new Dolby Atmos studio. These kids are going to have access to a world-class studio, and it's all free of charge like everything else we do here.
Why is music important to this mission?
It's the heartbeat. It's the heartbeat of the people. Who doesn't like music? Music, it soothes the soul. It's medicine inside the music. It's music that when they can't get any rest at night, they can put it on and feel calm.
And these kids are DJs.
They're all kinds of things. They're DJs, they're artists, some of our beginners, songwriters, musicians. It's the talent is just through the charts.
And you guys actually have your own albums on iTunes.
Yeah, we drop an album most every week too. And there's programs for people on drugs. There's programs for people with behavioral issues. There's a bunch of programs to treat the symptoms, but nothing that treats the heart of the matter. And so when we can go and be a father to the fatherless, kind of makes up the difference.
You've got a lot of pro ball players that have now come through Heroes Camp. You have Division I athletes.
One time we had 60 to 70 guys on D1 scholarships. And these are people that couldn't make the grades. They were, eating one hamburger, as a lifestyle. That's all they could afford for a family, one hamburger for a whole family. One of our guys he hit the three-point shot for Purdue. That sends them into overtime. They win the state championship. No, that's Clay.
Yeah, well, he was a high
Clay.
school standout. He went on, he still holds the three-point record at Purdue University.
Yeah.
We have guys that play professional basketball overseas that are now making six figures. These are kids that are coming back, buying wonderful homes for their family. They're now professionals in the community. We've had guys go up through the ranks of the NBA. We have guys that are now in pharmaceutical sales, that are administrators, double masters, principals of schools, police officers, counselors. We produce professionals, and then we have guys that are none of those things. They go to trade school and they're electricians, they're culinary cooks, they're line cooks. We measure success by the quality of your adult life and how you contribute back. And so that is bigger than a degree. It's bigger than your job title. It's your mental health. Look at them first and then look at me next.
They're bringing the Church of the Savior. All the boxes.
Fresh fruit for mine guys at Heroes Camp. They don't get fresh fruit, but we got so much now. Can you believe it? I've built a relationship with the church down the street, with the Lions Club, and anything they have left over, they bring it here, and then they can take that home. Thank you for remembering us. Oh, hungry bellies.
Yeah, yeah.
They want to eat.
Yeah.
And they can eat until we say it's no more left.
So they eat. They can get seconds and thirds.
As long as we got food. As long as we got food, we don't ever stop till it's the end. So.
How does it feel for you to have, first of all, you got this great donation from the Lions Club. You've got great volunteers and staff like Gwen, and now you have this amazing facility after all these years of giving to the community.
It makes me cry. It makes me cry because God rewards faithfulness.
You're precious in God's sight. You're precious. You're precious. You ever heard that, Andy? Your mother ever tell you you're precious to her? Yeah. She might not have said it like that, but she said it where you understood it like that. Is that good? Huh? Red and yellow, black and white, they're all precious in God's sight. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be?
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.